girl. No.
I'll just start off with the classic. Welcome to the Lame Heart podcast, Lea Heart.
No, thank you so much for having me.
No, absolutely great to have you on. I've been loving the music that you've been doing and obviously just released your first EP. Can't wait to dive into all of that in due course. But yeah, it's just great, obviously, to hear more artists coming through in the Irish scene, especially as if there's one genre that I would be great on, it's pop. So it's great to hear more pop artists coming, great to hear more women
Oh, I love
coming.
that.
And so I've just been absolutely blaring your music for the best part of this year.
It sounds better when it's blared.
Absolutely. And I'm actually, as I said, I'm on my staycation at the moment and I've probably been tormenting my family for the
Oh,
last
I
week with the
love
EP.
that. Has to be done.
Yeah, so you are Lea Hart. Welcome to Lame Heart, as I said. And I'm trying to think back. I always like to think where I first discovered someone when I have them on the podcast. So my first mention of you is that I present on Radio Rera, and they love to obviously push Irish artists. And then as soon as Older dropped, they were plugging it. So I learned about it internally. Usually it's that I stumble across it on Spotify or my friend told me about it on a night out or something. So this was a very different story altogether, but I really loved the song. And it very much peaked for me, I'd say, when I was in isolation with COVID in January. And so I really spent a lot of time just in bed feeling sorry for myself with Older blaring in the background and then like levitating as well to get my spirits up.
Yes, of course. That's so funny.
Yeah, so absolutely loved that. And I suppose I just want to dive into the fact that it's almost like a fairy tale story when I think about it, that you started putting yourself out there in lockdown and then it seems like so quickly you got management, you had you got signed, and then you have a song out already.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly like you said, it happened very quickly. Like when lockdown happened, I obviously had so much time on my hands. And for like a good few years I put off making an Instagram account or a TikTok account for my music because I was just so nervous. I was like, oh my God, people can say whatever they want. They might like my voice. Like what if like I'm not good at songwriting or whatever, and it was just so many what ifs, which is so silly now looking back. But when lockdown hit, like I had no excuses. I was like, right, I need to do something productive with my time. And within like a week of lockdown, I think I made an Instagram and a TikTok account and just started posting videos. Really didn't think much about it. I posted a few covers and some originals then as well. And yeah, within a couple of weeks, like I was getting like a good few views on TikTok and just really, really nice comments that people were like really interested and related to my lyrics and liked my voice as well, which is so nice to hear. Like obviously I was so nervous posting the videos. So every time I kind of posted one and people seemed to like it, it definitely boosted my confidence. And that's why I just kind of kept doing it. Um, and then, yeah, the management that I'm with today actually found me one day scrolling through TikTok, and I've been working with them ever since. And they are the same management that Picture This have as well. So when they reached out, Brian Whitehead is obviously a big name in the music industry as a manager. So
Mm.
I couldn't believe he was reaching out to me because, of course, I knew he was a manager of Picture This, and I have been a massive fan of theirs for a good few years. I saw them when they played the Five Nights at the Three Arena, and yeah, I've always loved their music and looked up to them for inspiration and stuff like that. And so yeah, when he reached out, it was crazy. And then he said that Picture This were actually looking to work with a female artist at the time. Lucky enough for me, and I met up with them. We got on really well. They're such lovely lads, and yeah, I kind of all went from there. So that's like this time last summer. So it's kind of the past year then it's just been go, go, go nonstop. But yeah, then my EP came out last week, and yeah, it's kind of all led up to that. So yeah, it's really exciting.
That's crazy and funny that you mentioned the 5-3 arena nights because the support act for them, Dagny, she was on the podcast back in January just after just after I got
Right.
out of isolation. So another friend of Picture This joining on the podcast.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you say about your management finding you on TikTok, that's one thing that I've really found about TikTok is that it's insane the amount of new people that you can reach on it compared to other stuff like
Yeah.
Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or any other social platform that's been around for a while, because you can put as many hashtags as you want on Instagram, but you have to hope that it makes it onto that like explore page. But on TikTok,
I know.
you could do whatever and it just suddenly you've tens of thousands of people on you.
That's what me by surprise so much because I didn't know much about the app. I think we all kind of only got into it during lockdown, so it was very new to me. So I didn't really understand how it all worked. Like my first few videos, I don't even know what they were. I think I've deleted them at this stage because like I didn't know what I was doing. But yeah, like the fact that you can reach people like all over the world, like people comment and they're like, "Oh, listening to your song from Australia or here from wherever," it's just insane. Like I can't imagine somebody over in Australia having my music on, that way. No, TikTok is an amazing platform. And yeah, like you said, with Instagram and Facebook, you are like limited to friends of friends and hoping people share it and stuff like that. Whereas TikTok, like, although you could have 10 amazing videos, one might do really, really well and the others don't do as well. So yeah, it just, you never really know what's going to work. So you just kind of have to do a bit of trial and error and see what happens. But yeah, it's such a good platform. Like I wouldn't be where I am today without it, definitely.
Yeah, and it's totally crazy how as soon as you kind of like pick some sort of a niche and you start making your content based on that, everything suddenly like explodes.
Yeah, but at the same time, then you could make one video one week and like basically recreate it in a different way the following week, and one does insane and one does so bad. Like it's so
Hmm.
the yeah, the way it works like really confuses me. I think it confuses everyone. No one really knows what to do. But that's why I think that's what keeps it exciting. And like one day you post a video and maybe not much thought has gone into it, and then like hundreds of thousands of people are seeing it and you're like, oh my god, like what the hell.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely like big excitement around it then as well.
Yeah, no, that's crazy because I started doing the same thing as you. I started doing like power intros for radio, and so it's the same kind of thing but with different songs. IDKY was actually the first song I did.
Oh,
um,
I love
and that did really well, and then the next few did really well, and then suddenly they don't. Well, one doesn't.
the trends go by so quickly, so you need to like hit the trends like when they're happening, because if you do it a week late, your video is not going to do well. So you have to really like be on top of it and really watch what's going on as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I love how you've been using obviously TikTok since you've got signed and started releasing music, and how you use it as a promotional tool. And so the first single obviously was Older, which came out in October. That's 10 months ago. It seems ages away, but also like it just happened as well.
The quickest 10 months of my life, it's crazy.
For sure. What made you select Older as your first song? Because obviously presumably you would have recorded and written a bunch of songs, and then you're kind of like
Yeah.
dealer's choice. What would you like to put out there as your first impression?
Yeah, like I think it was definitely difficult because obviously I was a new artist. No one knew who I was. So I definitely wanted to start as I meant to go on. And obviously pop is what all my music is really based around. So I wanted something that was really poppy, also not sad, and just something that everybody could relate to. So I kind of feel like Older kind of had all those parts. And like I always call Older as my baby. Like it just, I don't know, it definitely has a special place in my heart. And when I first heard it completely finished all the production, I think a lot of people, like if I played it to friends or people I work with, we all kind of thought there was something special about it, so it just felt right. But still, I loved it so much, but putting it out there to the world is definitely so scary, and you never know like how people are going to take it and stuff. So it was only when Older started doing really well then that we decided to go with IDKY as the next one, because I think you just really need to kind of see if it's working. If it's not working, we probably would have picked something else as the second song and stuff. So it's definitely, you just kind of have to play it by ear and see how one goes, and then start planning for the next release then as well.
Yeah. And how did you sort of go about deciding? Because I suppose I nearly think of like there being two dominant sounds in pop at the moment. There's obviously with Lockdown, it's really pushed this bedroom pop sound, which obviously has stemmed to artists like Billie Eilish or Conan Gray, or even as far back as like Lord's early stuff. Yeah, so there was obviously a lot of people stuck in their bedroom making that bedroom pop, but then on the flip side, what's almost nearly kind of swayed a little bit, but I feel like it's making a comeback with songs like Your Own is almost like that big, huge studio sound. What made you choose to sort of go in that direction? Because it could have been easy to choose the bedroom pop sound, and you could have done it very well if you wanted, but you sort of went with that like big classic pop sound, which obviously I love, by the way.
Yeah. No, and I feel like as well, like I feel like IDKY and I'll Get Over It are definitely my biggest pop songs, and they are that really like rich studio pop sound, and I love that because that's the type of music I listen to. But then what I do love about my EP is the fact that like I really wanted to bring out a piano ballad that was really far from like the usual pop. It's not really pop at all, and that's A Million Goodbyes, and yeah, that's so different. And then also Waiting for the Nights then is quite different as well. So I do kind of like that there is a big variety on the EP, and it's not just purely like this massive pop sound, even though that is what I love. So I did try mix it up a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I suppose when you just hear the production, you know if it's right or if it's wrong. And when I heard the final production on both IDKY, Older, and I'll Get Over It actually as well, I just like I loved it, and I felt like it felt right. So just felt like it was right to kind of keep it like that. And yeah, that's what we went with.
Yeah. So from Older, then I need to take a second and take a deep breath because IDKY, this MF, I've tried not to swear, but this MF banger,
Yeah.
when it dropped, it still has me going all summer. Like something happened as soon as that song dropped that I was pure obsessed with. And I can tell you, it's almost certified it's competing for my number one on Spotify Wrapped this year.
Oh my God, amazing.
Yeah.
No, that was, yeah, I was just going to say that was definitely a whole new ball game, because I think when Older did so well, obviously then IDKY, it was like another step towards the pop direction. It's definitely has more to it than Older did. Um, but yeah, like it just felt like such the right moment. We released it in March, and it was definitely like, you know, that time kind of March, April, people are getting ready for the summer, and I was like, I just want it to be a big summer song, and that's why we went with releasing it in March. And yeah, like it definitely is such a feel good song. On the flip side, the lyrics are, they're not really really upbeat. Like they do have a storyline behind them that are like, you know, you can take them in a kind of sad way as well. So I love that as well, that there is definitely two sides to the song. But yeah, like it's IDKY just hits all the spots. Like it's just such a bop, and I just can't freaking wait to play that live. Like it's going to be so much fun.
Oh, completely. And as a graphic designer, I'm obsessed with the cover art as well. Like, just, I can just say everything about that song. I'm just absolutely loving, because I remember when Older was the only song, I played it for a few people. I was like, "Oh, you should hear this
Yeah.
new artist," and all that, and people liked it. But something, as soon as I started playing IDKY, and it was the weather when people could go out into the park for the afternoon, and people started, you know, dressing up nicely and being so excited for all of it, IDKY just seemed like the perfect song for it.
Yeah, I always feel like as well, each song is like kind of a different part of me. I feel like the IDKY, even the me on the cover, it's like more my fun side, you know, like up was a little bit more serious. But yeah, I loved that picture, because it's just like I just have my tongue out and I'm like, I don't care, like I'm having so much fun. That really comes across in the song as well. So yeah.
Yeah, and you must have had like a huge amount of like, well, I predicted you'd have like a serious amount of like underlying confidence, because after Older came out, and knowing that you had this banger in the locker ready to like unleash on the world, you must have known it was going to do well.
Yeah, we waited, like I think Older was October and then IDKY was March. So it was a good like, what is that, 6 months, 6 month period. Didn't release another song because Older kind of even from January on kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I wanted to give that its room to breathe and do its own thing. So that's why I did hold off for a good while before releasing another one. And then you just kind of have to get the right time to release a second one. So I had that done for like 3 or 4 months, IDKY fully finished, and just sitting on it like, oh, it's almost time for it to come out now. So it was so exciting when it did. And the same with like the EP as well. Obviously you have all that stuff done so many months in advance. So when they finally are out in the world and people can listen to them, it's just the best feeling.
Yeah, and as you said, the EP, it's just out to rave reviews, and it obviously, you had A Million Goodbyes along the way, and two more new songs, I'll Get Over It and Waiting for the Nights. What did you want like this EP to encapsulate when someone listens to it from start to finish?
I just wanted it to be really me. I wanted it to be relatable, and just kind of each kind of capture like a different kind of emotion and a different feeling. Like I didn't want all 5 songs to be really poppy and really upbeat at all. I wanted there to be a good variety on it. So that's why we went with A Million Goodbyes as the third single, because I could have gone with I'll Get Over It, and it was there was a debate, was it going to be I'll Get Over It, was it going to be A Million Goodbyes? but I'll Get Over It meant it would have been three massive pop songs in a row, and I just wanted people to see this other side of me and another side of my voice as well, where it is a more serious side, and like I want to release like really heartfelt music as well. So that's why we went with A Million Goodbyes. And yeah, like that's obviously a piano ballad. There's no harmonies on that. It's just one vocal. And like that's why I think it's really special, and it's definitely really special to me. And then yeah, then the other two then came out just last Friday. So yeah, I just feel like all over these five songs are just so me. Like they're kind of every part of me and every part of, you know, my feelings, and I just couldn't pick five songs that describe me better. So that was the like most important thing for me.
Yeah, and obviously it was like a shock to the system when A Million Goodbyes came out, in a nice way, obviously, because we've gotten used to the big
Yeah.
pop of IDKY and older, and then to suddenly have everything slowed down and toned back. Like how was it recording that song, and what sort of inspired it in a way?
Yeah, like it was just definitely like another side to me. I also wanted to have like that kind of heartbreak song. Like I feel like that's necessary, and they're feelings that everybody goes through at some stage in their life. And I want people to listen to the lyrics and just completely related to stuff that's happening in their own life as well. So yeah, it just like that song definitely was the quickest song to record, I think, because it's so just calm and plain, and it's exactly what I like sung kind of growing up. I used to do like big Adele kind of ballads and stuff growing up.
Hmm.
So it just yeah, it did feel like very me. And yeah, but at the same time I had so much fun recording all of them. You know, but that one, because it's just one vocal and stuff, it was definitely the quickest and the easiest, and it just felt so right. We didn't have to record a load of vocals for that. We did a couple takes, and it was like, yeah, like this is just very intimate, and yeah, it was great.
Yeah, and I feel like it kind of builds back up to the pop in a way that you can almost go from, well, if you were to listen in any order, you could go from Million Goodbyes, and then Waiting for the Nights almost seems like this in between space where you could easily do it like sat at the piano, but you can get up and dance depending on how you feel.
Yeah, and that song as well, because of the drums in it. Like when that chorus comes in, it's actually massive. Like, and I feel like you could be listening to it in the car, and it is very chilled. But like, I think you can also have it blaring and be like rocking out to it as well. So I love that. And yeah, like that song when we rehearsed that with my band, like it just playing it live with an actual drummer like just takes it to a whole new level. So that one live is definitely gonna be one of my favorites to play, because it's just like I don't know, it's just so big, like it's so much fun. But yeah, it is definitely that middle ground of it's not fully pop, it's a little bit kind of rocky. I don't know, it's a bit of everything in that one.
But you're predicting it to be kind of like the wild card sucker punch that everyone is like not expecting live.
I really think so, and that's only from like playing it live and kind of feeling it. And like I remember after the first time we played it as a full band together, and we were all a bit like, oh my god, I was like, it's like a whole new song almost. Like it's yeah, it's very powerful live. So
Yeah. And then the last song that we have to speak about is I'll Get Over It. It's definitely the sassiest song on the EP.
yeah. Yeah, no, definitely, like that is my like I can't you can't not be happy after listening to that song and feel good about yourself. Like that's my windows down, absolutely blaring, driving down the M50 or with all my girls, like just screaming that's that song for me, definitely. But it's so much fun. Yeah, you and the words are the lyrics are just so fun to sing.
Yeah, I was very surprised by it because last week when I listened to the EP, I decided why don't you do something fun and like make a TikTok of like the first time that you listen to the EP and record your reactions. And like when I watched back the faces I was making reacting to I'll Get Over It, I realized no, these are too cringy. I can't put this anywhere.
I was I didn't see that video. I was like, I would love to watch that.
Don't worry, it didn't make it anywhere.
That you were just surprised, were you?
I was very surprised. I was like, I don't know, it nearly, yeah, it really just was like sassy. It's a sassy. That's what I wasn't expecting in a way. And it was a good surprise as well.
Yeah.
But obviously it was nice to have the pop sense back.
Yeah.
Not back. It sounds like I'm making it sound like it died. Like a bias, which it didn't. But As obviously as the thing that I love more than anything else in this world, it was great to have the pop there and to be able to dance to it. And obviously, you'd kind of previewed it a bit on TikTok as well, and it's really taken off since the EP was released.
Yeah, no, I think people just can really relate to it. Like whether you're a girl or a boy, of course, like
Hmm.
you have been in that situation where you've been like messed about by somebody, and obviously the initial feeling is really like not nice. But then you get to a point where you're saying like, I'm gonna be absolutely fine. Like I'm so independent. I've got this. Like if you don't want me, Grant, find somebody else, or don't need anybody at all. You know that way.
Mm.
I think it's like a definitely a really powerful song. Like it's a big statement to say like you can do whatever you want to me and I'll get through it and I'll get over it. I feel like it just relates to everybody, doesn't it? Like you,
For sure.
yeah, and yeah, I feel like it's just a kind of such an upbeat, happy song. So it's doing really well on TikTok. So I'm delighted.
Yeah, it did take me a second because at the start I was thinking, yeah, cool, this is kind of almost the sort of like the building yourself back up bit, but I was thinking that sounds a bit crazy to be telling the person that you don't want to hear from or that you're angry with or whatever you're feeling, you're telling them to, kiss my friends, break my heart, do all this. And then after a few listens, that's when I realized, it's the defiance of it.
Yeah.
Am I mansplaining this song right now?
No, well, the lyric as well, like, at me is "Your revenge don't taste as sweet as mine."
Hmm.
I love that. Like, that's such a like. No matter how hard you're gonna try, your revenge don't taste as sweet as mine. I'm like, yes, I love that part. Like, that's such a that really opens into the chorus then of like this whole "I don't care, I'm strong, I don't need you." And yeah, it can be related to anything, like anybody. So
So obviously a big thing that hasn't happened for you so far that it's almost like the elephant in the room at this stage is gigging. Like you've been around for the guts of a year and obviously working for over a year, but I didn't realize until you announced a couple of weeks ago that you haven't had your first gig yet and you're going to be playing We Are Family by Kaleidoscope. That's crazy to me.
that's tomorrow, actually. Yeah, so I'm so excited, but it has been mad. Like it's very rare, I think, that you release music for like the guts of 10 months and no one's ever heard you live.
Hmm.
And because obviously, like playing live definitely also helps build your profile and make people aware of you and stuff. And I haven't really had that at all. So yeah, I'm just so excited. Like I'm so ready to play this set live. And that's yeah, Kaleidoscope tomorrow is definitely the first thing I'll ever play live, but it's the first of many. Like I definitely have so many plans. Obviously just trying to work out dates at the moment with everything that's going on in the country, but the first chance I have to properly play my own show, and I want to play Dublin, I want to play Belfast, like there's so many places I want to play, so it's all just coming. And yeah, it's really exciting.
Any dream venues?
Oh my god, well, I think I can't be from Ireland and say that the Three Arena is not like one of my biggest dreams to play. So 100%, like I've seen so many people live there and it's just been amazing. So to play that one day would, oh my god, make me so happy. But like I want to tour the UK, I want to do Europe, of course I want to do America. I've never been to America, and going to LA is like my biggest dream ever. Even my screensaver on my phone is a picture of LA. Like I just feel like I'm not fully me until I go to LA, I feel. So yeah, like everywhere I like everywhere I can play, I want to play. All the big venues in America as well would be just amazing. So yeah, I'm cross my fingers.
Hopefully within the next year. When you're performing tomorrow, obviously, as because you haven't done a first gig yet, who would you or who do you who like are you going to be channeling anyone, or is there anyone that was so good live that you're thinking, I'm imagining I'm that person on stage?
Well, I always say Dua Lipa live like doesn't beat anybody. Like she is
Oh,
no, but obviously, yeah, you know, she's also a dancer now. Like she's does like breaks out into dance or whatever. So that won't be me tomorrow. I don't have enough songs yet for that, but yeah, her live is amazing. But I work really closely with, obviously, with Ryan and Jimmy from Picture This, and I was talking to Ryan. And I think a piece of advice he gave me, because you know, the first time you go on stage, it definitely is nerve wracking. And although I'm so excited for tomorrow, there is nerves there because I've never seen myself properly play live. So I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, so I was saying to Ryan, oh, like, you know, are you somebody else on stage, or you know, like what is it like? Do you become like a new character? Because in my head, I was planning to be like this different character, like so different to how I am at home. But Ryan just said to me, like, no, like when I'm on stage, I'm just the truest form of myself and like where I'm the happiest. And that like has stuck with me since the moment he said that, because it just takes so much pressure off. Like, I just want to go up there and have fun and be me. And like my songs are so me. So why would I try and be anybody else? So I think, yeah, I'm just going to go and have so much fun and see what happens. Who knows?
Yeah, when you're having fun, that'll obviously reflect back.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, quick question I want to ask as well is a few previous guests I've tried to get, music recommendations off them. So, when Picture This' friend Dagny was on, she recommended a Swede called Veronica Maggio, who I'd never heard of before, but love that. And then Leisha, another great Irish pop girl, was on and she recommended Len and Stella. Who would you recommend if you were going to if you're going to imagine that you're Spotify radio and you wanted to tell someone if you like Lea Heart, what would you listen to?
The first person that's coming to my mind is the Irish artist Luce.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, I followed her for the guts of probably 5 years, and obviously she's already so big, like she's already doing amazing, but her songwriting and her voice is just sensational. So I definitely say to anybody, if you haven't heard of her, 100% go and listen. She's amazing. Yeah, I'm trying to think who else. I definitely listen to like a bit of everything, so I probably have artists in different streams, but like my favorite band ever, they're quite big already, but Catfish and the Bottlemen, I'm obsessed with them. I feel like they are a bit alternative though, so not like too many like people that listen to pop would listen to them, but they're amazing. And at the moment I'm obsessed with Maisie Peters. She's so well known, but she dropped 2 songs yesterday and they've been on repeat ever since. So those 2 people are coming to my mind first of all. But there's so many talented people from Ireland as well, people starting off, and yeah, there's so many people that deserve to be listened to. So there's an endless list.
Yeah, there's so many great things in Ireland. Is there anyone like Irish that you'd love to be working with?
I think definitely the way I got to work with Picture This, definitely a massive take off my list. They're definitely like, really high up my list to work with. They're so talented. Yeah, I'd love to write with Danny from the Coronas. I love Codeline. I wrote with Steve a couple of weeks ago, the main singer from Codeline, and he's amazing. He's so talented as well. So that was sensational to be able to do that. There's just so many talented people. Like anyone that I had the opportunity to work with, I'd be delighted. Like I think you just learn so much as you go, and writing with different people, you just I'm like a sponge. I soak it all in. So yeah. Definitely lots on my list.
So much to come. Obviously, great to see an ambitious list, and obviously want to see the Irish take over the world as you can.
Of course, me too.
So you've the self-titled EP. It's out now. What would you hope that people take away?
I think because like I took so long to put music out or to put myself out there and stuff, like when people text me and they say, how did you do it or whatever, I'm always like, I promise you, once you do it once, it's really not that as bad. So I think like this EP really shows that like you can do it, that way. And yeah, you can just be yourself and people do relate to what you have to say. And yeah, I just say go and jam it in the car and have so much fun listening to it, please. That's all I want. And take it into your personal lives. That's it, really. Have fun. I think that should be my slogan or something.
You should get a neon sign for the back of your gigs saying have fun.
This
is a fun space.
Yeah, exactly. Be whoever you want to be and have fun. Like that's it, literally.
Great message. So it's been a blockbuster year so far. And what's to come for the rest of the year and going into 2021? What can you share with us?
Lots of new music, obviously. Very top of my list. Shows, my own shows, maybe supporting someone special on show. Ooh. Maybe supporting a couple people on show, or on on stage. I'm getting too excited thinking about it. I can't even speak. And yeah, just continuously releasing music. Keep growing, and yeah, it's exciting. There's lots to come.
Absolutely great. Well, obviously, Míle buíochas for joining us on the podcast. I will let you know if IDKY ends up taking the #1 spot on the Spotify Wrapped.
Oh, please. Hope it does.
But anyways, Míle buíochas.
Thank you so much for having me on.